She looks at you differently now. That energy that was there at the beginning has turned into obligation, boredom, protocol. You feel it. And worse, you know it was something you said or didn't say that broke the spell, but no one tells you exactly what. Today, you're going to discover the exact words that make a woman completely surrender. And they're not what you imagine. They're not canned internet lines or cheap seduction techniques. It's something deeper, more structural, more powerful. And if you don't understand this in the next few minutes, you'll continue losing high-value women to men who know exactly what to say and when to be silent. You've been taught to believe there's a magic formula, a perfect phrase that opens doors, a precise compliment that disarms any defense. Maybe you've even bought courses promising these secret keys. That's wrong, completely wrong. And that's why you're still here, frustrated, watching her pull away while you don't understand where you went wrong. The naked truth is this: there are no isolated magic words. What exists is communication structure, intention behind the words, and behavioral consistency. These three dimensions form what I call the maestro's language. The man who masters this doesn't force anything. He guides. He creates an environment where she chooses to invest, chooses to surrender, chooses to follow because she trusts his baton. When the maestro hesitates, when he goes off key, when he doesn't know where he's leading the orchestra, the music turns into noise, and the instruments get lost. You've been that lost maestro. Your communication has been an aimless improvisation, reacting to her mood, seeking approval, without a frame, without purpose. And she feels that. She feels it in her bones. It's not isolated magic words that make a woman surrender, but rather the strategic communication of a high-value man who sets clear boundaries and demonstrates purpose, inspiring in her the desire to invest deeply and align with his vision. Surrender here means her conscious choice to trust, respect, and commit. Engrave that. It's not about control, it's about leadership. It's not about manipulation, it's about clarity. And clarity, my friend, is the most powerful aphrodisiac there is. Now, let's get to what matters. I'm going to give you 7 communication patterns that separate men who are forgotten from men who are remembered, desired, pursued. Pay close attention. Each one has a name, a function, a concrete example. First, frame declaration. You establish the reality of the interaction and your position in it from the outset. It's not arrogance, it's guidance. When you tell her, "I'm not here to convince you, but to see if there's a genuine connection," you kill the cat and mouse game. You take away her power to test you to exhaustion and put both of you on equal footing. She immediately realizes you're not just another desperate man begging for attention. Carlos, a 28-year-old software engineer, used to constantly compliment dresses and smiles, hoping to be chosen. The result? Permanent friend zone. When he learned to declare his frame, everything changed. Second pattern, boundary test. You observe how she reacts to a light provocation or a demand for time and attention. When you ask with a smile, "Are you always this bossy or just with me?" You're not being rude. You're testing if she can play along, if she has flexibility, if she respects your space. Her response tells you everything. If she laughs and gives it back, you have a high-value woman. If she gets offended and plays the victim, you've just discovered a problem before investing 6 months. This test saves your time, your energy, and your heart. Third, intermittent value reinforcement. You praise and validate behaviors you appreciate, not just her appearance. When you say, "I admire your passion for this project," it's something rare to see. You're creating an unpredictable reward pattern. She doesn't know when the next compliment will come, so she tries harder to earn it. This isn't malice. It's basic psychology. Every human responds to intermittent reinforcement. Casinos are built on this. Deep relationships, too. Daniel, a 35-year-old digital entrepreneur, used to only talk about himself on dates, thinking he was impressing. In reality, he was boring her. When he learned to validate her specific behaviors and be silent at the right time, he turned the game around. Fourth pattern, scarcity communication. You show that your time and attention are valuable. It's not a childish game, it's reality. Men of value have schedules. They have purpose. They have commitments. When you say, "I only have 15 more minutes before I have to go, but I'm enjoying our conversation," you communicate 2 things at once. First, you have a life beyond her. Second, even so, she's worth those 15 minutes. This contrast creates productive tension. She wants more. She invests more to keep you there. Scarcity generates desire. Poorly managed abundance generates boredom. Fifth, intention declaration. Be clear about what you're looking for in the interaction or relationship. I'm not looking for something superficial. I'm looking for a deeper connection. That phrase alone eliminates 90% of women who only want attention. And that's great. You don't want cheap attention. You want real investment. Felipe, a 40-year-old doctor, spent 7 years in a relationship where she made all the decisions. He gave in, gave in, gave in. When he finally declared his intention to lead in certain areas, there was initial resistance. But then came respect. Then came renewed desire. Clarity liberates. Sixth pattern, light disqualification. A playful, non-aggressive comment that reduces tension and shows you're not fawning over her. You're actually pretty funny for someone who works with numbers. With a genuine smile, this phrase does two things. She realizes you have a sense of humor and don't take things too seriously. She realizes you're not intimidated by her beauty or status. This positively unbalances things. She starts seeking your validation instead of you seeking hers. It's a polarity inversion. It's where the game turns around. Seventh and last, strategic silence. Use pauses to create expectation, allow her to invest, or absorb information. You ask a question and wait. Don't fill the void. Let the discomfort happen. She will fill it. And when she fills it, you'll have valuable information. Weak men are afraid of silence. They fill every conversation with useless words. Strong men know that silence communicates more than 1,000 phrases. In the silence, she feels your presence, your control, your confidence. In the silence, she decides if you're worth following. Now for the real-life cases. Carlos discovered that generic compliments are devalued currency. He complimented everything, her hair, her dress, her smile. He thought he was being kind. In reality, he was communicating neediness. When he started using intention declaration and boundary testing, he said in a conversation, "I like women who are passionate about what they do, and I see that in you. That's attractive." Then he provoked, "Are you always so punctual or just today to impress me?" Immediate result. She laughed. She invested. She asked more about him. The dynamic reversed. Before, he pursued. Now she approached. Daniel had peacock syndrome. He showed off his achievements, his possessions, his travels. He thought this attracted women. It attracted superficial interest. It repelled real connection. Nobody wants to hear a monologue of success. People want to be seen. When Daniel learned scarcity communication and strategic silence, he stopped talking so much. He said in a conversation, "I only have 15 more minutes before I have to go to an appointment, but I'm enjoying our conversation. What else drives you besides work?" And he waited. She opened up. She talked about dreams, fears, passions. He just listened. In the end, she asked for his number, not the other way around. Felipe was trapped in a relationship where he was a supporting character. 7 years saying yes to everything. 7 years swallowing frustration. When he finally used frame declaration and intermittent value reinforcement, he said, "I understand your point, but for me, the decision will be this for these reasons. I value your opinion, but I need a partner who trusts my leadership in certain areas." She resisted at first. She tested him. But when she saw he wouldn't back down, something changed. And when she yielded or supported him, he reinforced, "I admire your ability to understand my point of view and support me." The marriage was reborn, literally. But before you go out and start applying this, you need to know where you're going wrong now. Mistake number 1, excessive empty compliments. You think you're being kind. You're transmitting insecurities. Every undeserved compliment decreases your perceived value. She sees you as needy, predictable, easy. You become an option. Mistake number 2, constant search for approval. You ask if she liked it, if everything's okay, if you said something wrong. This creates the perception of a man without self-confidence. Her attraction turns off. Respect evaporates. Mistake number 3, passive-aggressive communication. You don't address what bothers you directly. You use sarcasm, veiled hints, temporary coldness. This creates resentment, erodes trust, and pushes away quality women. If there's a problem, say it directly, clearly, no beating around the bush. Mistake number 4, not setting clear boundaries. You allow her to invade your time, disrespect your priorities, ignore your values. The result? You become a doormat. She loses all attraction. Nobody desires someone who doesn't respect themselves. Mistake number 5, talking too much about yourself uninvited. You monopolize the conversation thinking you're impressing her. You're boring her. Real connection happens in balance. Talk, listen, talk, listen. If you're talking 80% of the time, you've already lost. Mistake number 6, trying to fix her problems without being asked. She vents, and you immediately offer solutions. She doesn't want solutions. She wants to be heard. When you force unasked for solutions, you communicate that she's incapable. She sees you as controlling or weak, never as an equal partner. Now, the protocol you're going to start applying today. First step, define your internal frame. Before any interaction, know what you want, who you are, what your boundaries are. This isn't optional. If you don't know your direction, how will she follow? Second step, communicate with clear intention. Every word needs to have purpose. Do you want to attract? Do you want to test? Do you want to validate? Do you want to set a boundary? Decide before you open your mouth. Communication without intention is noise. Third step, observe her reaction carefully. Communication is a cycle, not a monologue. She gives you verbal and nonverbal feedback all the time. Pay attention. Adjust your approach based on what you see. Fourth step, validate desired behavior. When she acts in a way that aligns with your values and intentions, subtly reward her. A smile, a specific compliment, more attention. Basic psychology. You're training the dynamic to where you want it to go. Fifth step, maintain consistency between words and actions. Your words should be a consistent reflection of your actions and values. If you say one thing and do another, it's over. Trust destroyed. Attraction dead. Sixth step, use silence to your advantage. Create pauses. Let her feel the need to invest. Let her fill the spaces. In silence, you communicate confidence, control, presence. In silence, she decides if you're worth following. Now for the truth nobody wants to hear, but everyone needs. You have 48 hours. 72, at most. If you don't start consciously applying at least one of these patterns in your next interactions, nothing will change. Tomorrow will repeat today. She'll continue seeing you as safe, as predictable, as a friend, as a doormat. And meanwhile, another man who understands these dynamics will come along and in 15 minutes will win what you couldn't in 15 months. Not because he's better looking, not because he's richer, but because he knows exactly what to say, when to say it, and when to be silent. You have 2 choices right now. First, ignore all of this. Keep doing what you've always done, expecting different results. Good luck with that strategy. Second, choose one tactic, one situation, one interaction, and apply it consciously. Observe what changes. Feel the difference in your confidence. Notice the shift in the dynamic. And then come back here and share in the comments what the situation was, what you applied, and what the result was. Or share a situation where you failed before, and how you would apply one of these tactics now with the knowledge you have. This is your decision. This is your chance to regain control of your interactions, your relationships, your life. The maestro is standing. The orchestra is waiting. Raise the baton.